3,000 millionaires. That's the title today. Kind of crazy, right? It might sound like some kind of internet hype, and it's really not. It's just a conversation I've been having with myself about resources in the world, about what's possible, what's like really possible given the world that we have. The public offering IPO of SpaceX, one of Elon Musk's companies, has launched. And, if you look at different things, you can say Elon Musk is a trillionaire. He has become, I think, or is close to becoming the world's first trillionaire. And there's a big bunch of people that are saying there should be no such thing. Somebody went so far as saying, they should all be jailed or some crazy thing, trillionaires or billionaires, even all of them. No business doing that. Somebody said, no, you can't possibly earn that money and a bunch of other stuff. Well, if you look at Elon's rise, like I don't know the details and I haven't read a biography, but when I look at all the things he's done, I mean, we had people stuck in the space station and, Elon Musk to the rescue. Like the dude has created these things, starting back with PayPal and, things maybe before that. That's his own personal genius. He's not the only one. You got, Steve Jobs and other people like that have created things that we all want. I'm an iPhone freak, all the iPhone stuff. And I know he's gone and Tim Cook runs it now. But the people that have created these things, they've earned it. They've earned it. But that isn't what I want to talk about. Because this isn't a political or an apology or defense for wealth. It's a declaration. Me, Kellen, I'm going to create 3,000 millionaires. And that might sound like some weird thing somebody says to, some delusional nonsense somebody says to impress somebody. I'm not trying to impress you. If that makes you mad, turn it off. Don't listen. But there's a reason why I say that. It's really near and dear to my heart. Because the longer I live, and I'm going to be 71 in December, the longer I live, the more I realize that there truly is, like this picture, there's infinite wealth, infinite energy. We create more all the time. AI has demonstrated that again. When the internet boom happened, the dot-com boom in 2000, I didn't used to understand what really happened. With the advent of the internet, people were able to create businesses and reach audiences, market share, that they could not reach before. So they were able to do that. And all of a sudden, everybody in their garage with a modem could reach customers all over their city, their state, the country, and the world. And that has done nothing but get more powerful and more sophisticated until high-speed internet is available in lots of places. And there are tons of places in the world that don't have all these privileges and access. And to me, that makes it more important for those of us that do have these privileges and access to technology and high-speed things and capabilities, to use them for good and to create work, jobs, meaningful activities that people who want to can do. So when I say I'm going to create 3,000 millionaires, here's the premise. AI has created now countless billions of new dollars. The reason is because it can do things so fast and so well. So it has compressed the time it takes to get something as an idea, to write the book, to create the program, to create the app. I personally know several people that have created apps, new apps for iPhone, Android, and I've seen them, and they're valuable. And people are going to subscribe to them. And the apps add good to the world. The apps make these people happier, more productive, more focused, and, a bunch of good things. And so that's going to increase overall wealth. It doesn't take something from somebody else. Somebody doesn't get poorer because someone that I know created a valuable app that adds good to the world and people subscribe and they get rich, the app creators. Like I know personally people that are there and they're in their first round of capital raise, and I know more than one and they're going to succeed because I've seen the app. I know another guy who's a client who's created a company and they're going to have a buyout pretty soon of hundreds of millions of dollars. And they're each going to get a boatload. There's 4 partners when they sell that. And the wealth that they've created is new wealth. It is new money. It is new products and services. And the company is built on beautiful principles. People are being creative and powerful and good and just doing stuff in a new, enlightened, being present, good way that is sustainable and adds good to the earth, the world, and all the rest. So there's not a limitation on the amount of money. And so what I mean by creating 3,000 millionaires, not someday, not maybe, not like sort of wouldn't it be nice, but I'm building a university. And the graduates, the people that I take through these programs are going to be millionaires. I'm going to create 3,000 millionaires through the Ultimate Life University. And again, this is not a pipe dream. I want to share what I know. And I've done this now. The technology and tools. And here's the key ingredient, your life experience. The reason you have value isn't because you can go to work in some office and do a thing. You do have value there. You can be a IRS tax auditor. You can be an architect or an attorney or whatever. There's all kinds of ways that you can do something and make money. But there's something that you and I have that's more valuable than all of that will make you the most money. Hear that. Make you the most valuable and the most money. And what it is who you are, the story of your becoming, the real, raw, unfiltered expression of your beautiful divine humanity. Now, I'm only talking to a certain group of people when I say that. It is not every single person breathing air is infinitely valuable. You're a child of the divine. You have gifts and talents. But all of us are on our own trajectory of growth. Like we are where we are right now with the stack of challenges and struggles and problems we've all got. No kidding, right? And there are people who go through life's challenges and struggles, whatever they are, injustice, adversity, illness, loneliness, and come out the other side stronger, better, more resilient, healed, and capable. That's beautiful. The money part, 3,000 millionaires, comes when someone who has gone through those difficulties of life, like you and me, gone through that stuff. And you come out the other side with a determination to serve, with a determination to help somebody else, or some thousands of else, or some millions of else, other people, I say else people, somebody else, right? Who struggle with something the same or similar to what you have, who don't have a map. Maybe you had help, maybe you didn't, maybe you had a little, maybe you had a lot. But the point is, after you have walked the road of transformation, you've changed who you are, what you can do, what you believe, what you know, how you show up in the world. From a victim, from a place of learned helplessness, from a place of addiction to mediocrity, it's all I get, it's good as it is, to a place that looks like that sunrise over there. The marvelous mountain meadow, I call it, of fierce life ownership, radical excellence, and a passion to serve. I personally know a bunch of people like that who've gone through, some season or seasons or many seasons of adversity and chose not to let that ruin them, but it has refined them. And they have stood up and are now saying, I'm going to add good to the world. That stance, that determination to add good to the world is the most powerful thing you have or I have. You can do the most good and to make the most money and have the biggest impact and have the most joy if you use that transformation and work as your starting point. And the reason's not complicated. Everything I learned to do, that's a thing I know how to do. It's that thing over there, and I can be good at it and passionate about it. The things that I have become because of the struggle and choices and path, that's the real power, who we have become. Now, you know somebody right now, or maybe several somebodies, maybe you, who's been through some set of difficulties, and you now show up differently. You've gone through the trouble of forgiveness and through the struggle of self-growth. You've done that. Or you're doing it. You're on the way. And you came out of that with a determination to serve. So when I say 3,000 millionaires, I mean individuals who have done that work and are ready to give that work to the world and get paid. And get paid well. And $1 million isn't that hard to make anymore. And if you don't believe me, let me talk to you. You know, YourUltimateLifePodcast.com. Now, this isn't a podcast, but there's the URL. YourUltimateLifePodcast.com. There's a contact form. And if you want to talk about this, then use the subject line 3,000 millionaires. Because there's infinite amount of energy, infinite amount of money, and a desperate hunger for you, for your work, your story, your choices, your transformation, and your growth. I used to hear that when I went to seminars right after my gigantic life change in 2007, almost 20 years ago, 19 years ago, when I had a monster life change and started on this new path of I'm not happy with who I am. I'm going to change, develop myself, and add good to the world. And I've been doing that now for 19 years. And I had no idea. I had no belief. I would go to a seminar and I'd hear somebody say, your life story matters, this matters. And I would just not understand. Went over my head, or I would rebel and push back and say, you're full of crap. Might be true for you, but not me. As I've worked through these things over the years, my own growth and all the clients that I've worked with as a coach, I found out, dang, it's true. The battlefield you've been through is also the gold mine. That's as simple as that. The battlefield you've been through and overcome is your gold mine. So let me be clear. I'm not talking about internet fake nonsense. I'm not talking about hawking garbage. I'm not talking about snake oil or fake gurus or people that get up and hype things. And I'm not talking about recycled garbage where you go with ChatGPT and search everything and build a bunch of real cool sounding stuff and then try to sell it. I'm talking about your blood, sweat, and tears. Your real people. So my 3,000 millionaires are going to come from that pool. And that pool of people is surprisingly large. And the pool of people is those who have lived life, have had the crap kicked out of them one way or another, have decided to get above it, to forgive, to grow, and are now determined to serve. And what's been missing all this time is, okay, cool, I had this stuff happen. How do I turn that into money? That question is solved. That answer is clear. More now than it's ever been. It's people who've walked through addiction, grief, divorce, illness, sadness, failure, bankruptcy, depression, betrayal, loss, the collapse of your own identity, all of those things. If you've been through that, you're in the pool. Now, the only question is, the money, the influence doesn't happen by itself. Like I've been running this podcast for nearly 7 years. We started in 2020. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're in our 7th year now. I think we started in April, so we're in year 7. And I got 1,100 and something, and I'm recording another episode later today with another beautiful soul that is exactly this. Now, here's the key. The pool of people that have had those experiences is enormous. It's enormous. People you know. The difference is all those people that have lived, who've suffered, who've been broken, but wouldn't stay down, who have rebuilt and stood up. People have walked through the fire, okay? And then they've decided, I'm not going to waste this. I'm not going to let this just be pain. I'm not going to shrivel. And I'm not going to let somebody else go through this if I can help it. I'm going to help other people understand and navigate what I've been through better than I did, faster than I did, and turn it into something I can offer. Like, it's always been true that that was valuable, but we didn't have the way to do it. Today, with the technology, the internet, chat, GPT, or all the other models, you have the ability to take the story, the battlefield, the victories, and the transformation of your life and turn it into products and services and serve millions. You have the ability to do that. Most people do not. They won't take the time. They won't walk the road. They did the battle and they're healed and they're moving forward on their own, but they're not sharing. And they're not sharing because they're afraid, or they think it's too hard, or they think nobody would listen, or they have the story that what they have been through isn't that big of a deal and who gives a crap anyway, or some version of one of those things. Now, none of that's true. So the foundation is you have a message, you are a messenger, you have a yearning to serve people, and you don't know how to turn that into money. You don't know how to turn that into something that people are falling all over themselves to buy. You don't know how to get something to go viral. You don't know how to, turn what you've done or been into money. So that's the purpose of the university. The university's got 4 schools. The School of Transformational Authorship and Creation. That school is about learning to mine your story, write your book of transformation, pull out the principles that you have learned that are bulletproof for you, and then turning those into products and services that you know from your own blood and experience work and are important. It's answering some simple questions. Who was I before? What happened? What did I believe? What did it cost me? What did I learn? Okay, what did I choose now? Who have I become? What can I now share because I survived, I built, I forgave, I claimed my own sovereignty? That's the gold. And you can keep doing affiliate marketing or keep your job or do anything. You're free to do that. But there's a certain group of people, and you're one of them, who have a yearning to serve, to love, to create, to build. And you don't know how to turn that into products, services, and cash and get paid. So the School of Transformational Authorship and Creation is titled that because the authorship is just the first part. There's lots of people that will teach you how to write a book. If you go here to dreambuildwriteit.com, sign up for the challenge in September. It's not just about writing a book. It's about turning it into a usable form to create a business. Nobody makes a lot of money on their book, mostly. There's some that do, but by and large, 90% don't. Joy goes to these book conferences, and she meets people that do. There was a guy at the last conference 2 weeks ago in London that's making 7 figures just from his writing. And 4 years ago, he wasn't doing anything, so that's a big success story. But the path is clear. What he did is available. He gave a speech, said, this is what I did. I started here 4 years ago. He went to that very conference. And then I did this, and then I did this, and this is what I did, and here's when I quit my job, and now he's making 7 figures. So it's available. And the tools have never been better and so forth. What's missing is the courage. What's missing is the structure. What's missing is the knowledge about how to get it done. And that's what the School of Transformational Authorship and Creation is about. The second school in the university is the School of Personal Sovereignty. And this is actually the most important, and it's the foundation of all of them. Because it's easy to go get information about how to do whatever it is you want to do. I looked up on the internet last night how to use a new piece of gear that I got, and I didn't want to read the manual and take a long time, and it usually would have taken 3 or 4 hours, or maybe 2 hours if I was lucky, to figure out a thing, right? I got on ChatGPT and I said, I've got this, I want to do this is the problem, this is what I'm seeing, and in 2 minutes it gave me a step-by-step. So that kind of availability of speed is available for everything you want to do, if you're willing to learn, okay? So the world is full of people who have this gold mine. We're sitting on it. They're afraid. They don't believe it's gold. They don't believe it matters. I don't know where you are, but what I can tell you for sure is it's available for you right here, right now. And the market is hungry for your voice. I know that. I'm doing it. I'm sharing it with others. And so the School of Personal Sovereignty is all about that choice. It's the fundamental transformation. Who the hell are you? Don't answer with your title. Don't answer with your job. Don't answer even with your being a parent to 1 or 2 or 10 kids. That's probably the most important thing you'll do. But who are you? Well, you're a divine being. You were born from divine parents. Your spirit is divine. And you have infinite potential because of that. You are built to win, to succeed, to love, to forgive, to add good to the world. And that includes getting paid. You can do that and you can have joy all the time. That's why I talk about purpose, prosperity, and joy. So when you have those battles and recover from all that, and you say, I've done this, then you can say, I know this is what mattered. I know these are the things that mattered. And so the university is the structure that I built after walking this road for 20 years and helping many already. School of Transformational Authorship and Coaching, or Creation, the School of Transformational Personal Sovereignty, which is where you learn to claim. You eliminate all that nonsense of I'm not good enough, somebody's going to think this, somebody's going to think badly of, that whole litany of garbage is not true, and it doesn't matter anyway. You have been through what you've been through, you know what you know, and I want to hear it. The third school is the School of Transformational Coaching, because coaching is changing. By this Christmas, 95% of coaches won't make a living. And I defined a living as 100K. 95, maybe 97% won't make a living. So that means you're going to have another job, or you better have a partner that's working. But the truth is, real good coaching is more valuable than it's ever been. Ever, 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 ever. And there is a magic secret. There is a magic secret to being a successful coach and getting clients. There is one. And I can share it with you. And I already do in the book, Coaching and the Rise of AI. And I talk about how AI has changed the landscape completely for a lot of things, but that's book specifically about coaching. If you're a coach and you haven't read this, you're missing out. You're missing out, because this outlines what we need to do. I say we, it includes me, as coaches, to be powerful, to be in demand. And we have to be the product of that road we've walked. We have to live it and embody it. The fourth school is the School of Transformational Leadership in Business. And that's going to be open in 2027, because there's another book I have to write called Breakthrough Leadership Results. But here's the thing. Any of that stuff you can turn into cash right now. But people don't, because you say you don't know how, or you believe you're not enough, or you believe that it won't matter, or you believe that somebody else is first and better and you're too late to the party. And it's not, none of that's true. And the university's built to create 3,000 millionaires, to take lots of students, but 3,000 selected people on the path to creating the products and services from their own life experience and blood that will allow them to get paid at that level. People who want to serve, who want to create, who are willing to do what it takes to get your products and services in a world in a way that lets you make $1 million. It's not that hard, but it requires dedication. And here's the thing. These are the people you say, I'll do the work. I'm willing to tell the truth. I'm willing to build the offer that comes from my vulnerable and powerful place. I'm willing to create the workshop, create the keynote, make the product, show up in the right places, get in front of the audiences. I'm willing to do that. Okay, the money distortion is the idea that somehow that's bad. There's nothing noble about pretending you don't need money or want it. When you have $1 million a year in income, your ability to reach more people and do more good is expanded. It's not about buying a Lamborghini, if you want one, whatever, but it's about those people who are yearning to serve. And to do it in a big honking way, we need cash. We need cash to build the platforms, to build the outreach, and to sustain it. So I'm building this university for you. If you want to be one of the 3,000 millionaires, reach out. I'm building this, for you. You will get paid for your life experience. Money earned through manipulation is corrosive. We're not talking about that. Money earned through empty promises is poison. Money earned through bogus garbage is exploiting pain. This is not about dancing or reveling in trauma. But what about causing real transformation? What if your story is the key to someone unlocking the rest of their life to live in purpose, prosperity, and joy? That's worth, never mind the life, that's worth money. What if they build a business? What if they're successful? What if they employ 1, 2, 5, 10 people? Like, you can't even put a price on that. So the idea that there's something wrong with monetizing and getting well paid for creating that amount of good is just nonsense. If you learn to help someone trust again, to heal, to write, to express, to build a business, that money is clean and it's available, and there's an infinite amount because you have exchanged cleanly. And most people live in the story of, I don't know how. I don't know how. And here's the fun thing, a couple of things here. AI is here, and that lets you take your story and your work and turn it into something faster than you ever could before. I know because I use it every day. And I've trained it, and I have millions and millions and millions of words, like literally 7 to 10 million words in the library in, my selected LLM to write, to create courses, to think through what I'm doing, all that stuff to help me be creative, a creative partner. And it's fast and it's good. It isn't going to do the work for you because it has to have your authentic voice. It has to be the truth told through your lens and your power, or it isn't worth anything. Ooh, that's scary. So you got to mine your life, and you got to be willing to do that work and then turn it into what you can offer, a product, a service. The university's built to do that, and 3,000 millionaires will be the graduating class. And it's not that difficult to do. Turning your life into courses or speaking or workshops or products or coaching if you want to, or retreats or do-it-yourself products or licensed frameworks, franchise things you teach companies and they license them. I know people that do all of that, and I do that. And so helping you create $1 million, 3,000 millionaires, it's not that hard. And you have to do the work. AI won't do it for you. It'll help you. But you have to do the work, and you have to be the lived embodiment of the truth you teach. And then you've got it. So 3,000 millionaires, that's what I'm creating. It's going to require discipline. It's going to require enrollment of your own heart and soul in who you are and what you're doing. It's going to require humility, love, forgiveness. It will require sales, because if you're going to get people to give you $1 million a year for your products and services, they have to know where they are. They have to experience what they do. They have to want that. And then people will pour money on you. I'm an example. So I'm doing this from personal experience and from clients that I have. I said it earlier, one right now, that next year is going to have a $400 million buyout for a company. They're not magic. When we started, they were depressed, frustrated, and owned one other little company that was barely getting by. Now they've got that one all tuned up and doing well, and the other one that they built ready to sell for hundreds of millions. So that's possible. Your gifts, your talents, that's all you've got. That's a good thing, because it's the most powerful thing any of us have. So I want you to hear this and take this invitation. I'm going to create a $150 million university. It's going to graduate 3,000 millionaires. And the kind of people are the people that have been through the fire, have come out the other side, and have chosen to add good to the world with their life experience. That's who I'm looking for. Whether you're building a business, School of Transformational Leadership in Business, whether you're a coach, School of Transformational Coaching, or whether you're a person who's simply had a life experience that you know you need to share, the School of Transformational Authorship and Creation is for you. I'm building this university. You're invited, but I'm going to do it whether you come or not. Creating 3,000 millionaires is not a pipe dream. It is the truth of my goal. What's your goal? How will the world look when you have transformed it? What will you shape as you add good to the world? What will you do as you create from your life experience? Who will you lift? Who will you bless? Who will you love? Of course, you have to be job one. But what framework will you build? What tools will you give? How will you share your love and your life experience? I'm going to create 3,000 millionaires, learning to give and serve from their life experience. What are you committed to do in the world? That's an interesting question. Do you know? Do you have a clear vision what the world looks like after you fix it? It's a funny way of saying, if the vision you have of what you have to offer the world were fully realized, what would the world look like? If you want to be part of this, yourultimatelifepodcast.com, there's a contact form. Send me an email that says 3,000 millionaires. And tell me in that email how you add good to the world. What you have from your life experience. Maybe it's an app we need to build. Maybe it's products. Maybe it's a coaching program. Maybe it's 3 or 4 books. I don't know, because you're not here in front of me, or I'd know in 10 minutes because we'd talk. But you have the ability, and the world is starving for this kind of leadership. I'll see you tomorrow. I love you. I can't wait to hear from you.